Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really does make a difference. Allow me to introduce you to Muth Morris. I first came across Muth when a friend messaged me and said, "Might have found you a new boyfriend." She then sent me a screenshot of this message that he'd left on the BBC Facebook page, saying, "Hello my dear, I have read all your posts and they're quite impressive." And then finished by saying, "Can you please send me a friend request?" So two of my alter egos, Annie and Lucy, did just that. Prepare to start seeing double, you're probably going to get horribly confused. To try and help bring clarity, Annie has a deep blue background and Lucy has a lilac background. Most scammers are only fun for me until the point where they ask for money. But for once, this scammer was almost more fun after he'd failed to get any money than he was before. He's a man of few words, but he can repeat those same words for half an hour or more, and he claims to be a lieutenant colonel in the US Army. Our man started by introducing himself to Annie. "Hey Annie, my dear, is me, Morris," he said. "We can talk more on here and get to know more about each other, my dear." He had suggested to both Annie and Lucy that they change to Hangouts. To Lucy, he said, "Hey my dear Lucy, it's me, Morris. OK my dear, we can talk more better on here, OK?" After half a dozen short messages, the following morning he was saying to Annie, "I want to be the reason why you smile every morning. I want to be the reason for the happiness in your heart, the spring in your step and the song on your lips. Have a great day ahead. Good morning my dear." Followed by, "What going on my dear, why are you not replying my text?" Annie said, "Hi, I just finished getting mother her breakfast." To which the scammer replied, "Oh that's good, so tell me, what are you having for breakfast my dear?" Want to guess what he was saying to Lucy? Yep, you guessed it. "I want to be the reason why you smile every morning," etc, etc. One of the giveaways that you might be talking to a scammer is that they can become very insistent on you sending them pictures of yourself. Our man tried to get Lucy to send him another photo, saying, "My dear, I just want to see how beautiful you are this morning. Can you send her a picture of you?" She said, "I already sent you my photo." And he said, "My dear, send another one." So she said to him, "Don't be silly, I don't have very many. Stop being so demanding, I don't like pushy men." So he backed off for the time being. The next day, he started asking both of them what they were looking for in a man. And to both of them said, "I can't say I'm perfect, but am I very hobble man? Honest and I'm caring, one I know about myself, I don't like seeing people said around me, and I'm a good listener." Poor use of English is a clue that the person you're talking to may not be the US serving soldier that they claim that they are. Many scammers will repeatedly start a new conversation with a meaningless phrase unrelated to what you've talked about before. Common ones are, "Hey dear, how's your day going? Tell me what you are doing at the moment, sweet. What are you having for breakfast, my dear?" Our man was the master of meaningless conversations. One day Annie said, "I'm home, bought a nice looking quiche for our dinner." She tells everyone she lives with her elderly mother. "Just going to put it in the oven." To which Mr. Morris replied, "Tell me what you're having for dinner, sweetie." "I just did, silly," said Annie. "Oh, I see, sweetie. Tell me, sweetie, what are your favourite colours?" So Annie said, "Blue has always been my favourite. What about you?" "Wow," he said, "I love blue too, sweetie. We have something alike." Most of these romance scammers will add a term of endearment such as sweetie, darling, my beloved to almost every sentence they write. In this case, it was quite literally every sentence. And it wasn't long before our man's thoughts turned to setting up house with Annie. Annie lives with her elderly mother, so she wasn't prepared to move to the US. So they were talking about buying somewhere close to her mother so that they could spend half of the year in the UK and half of the year in the US. So she said, "OK, I'm going to look for somewhere we can buy together. I think we need to stay near mother. I don't think I can leave her completely." So Loverboy said, "Sweetie, can I give a call, my beloved?" So Annie said, "If you want to, give me a few minutes." And true to his word, Loverboy rang through on Hangouts. Do you want to guess what our serving Lieutenant Colonel in the American Army sounds like?
I know you said if you can tell mother about hers. I said that if she's gonna be okay with it, if she's not gonna be mad that you're dating someone overseas. Can I tell my I want to tell my son about us.
By now I'd pulled a trick on Loverboy, and it probably won't surprise you to know that our man in Afghanistan was actually in Lagos in Nigeria. At least he was on the 12th of March. Meanwhile, he was also talking to Lucy, where the two-timing so-and-so said, "Sweetie, yes, I want to marry you." "Oh, wow," said Lucy. "The answer's yes." "Wow, like, seriously, sweetie," he said. "You mean it's a yes for me, sweetie? You just made me the happiest man in the world." And, of course, he wanted to call Lucy on Hangouts too.
I don't know, baby. I'm so busy today, so I've not been able to contact my lawyer. Maybe later in the day when I'm free, I'll send in a mail.
Then he started telling both Lucy and Annie that he was due to retire from the army and he was waiting for his lawyer to send him his retirement papers. He told Annie, "This is my last year of services to my country, sweetie. Once I get my retirement papers, I will be able to come back home and we can have all the time to ourselves, build a new life together, sweetie." Whilst at the same time saying to Lucy, "Sweetie, I sent my lawyer a mail today. I'm still waiting for his reply, priceless queen." On the 13th of March, he was using another classic technique that the scammers use, telling Annie not to get stressed. Annie's mother hadn't been well and she'd had to call the doctor. And so our man said, "And don't get yourself stressed out, okay?" Followed a bit later by, "I hope you're not getting stressed, sweetie." He had a bit of a run-in with Lucy on the Saturday morning, when she didn't answer him straight away. He said, "Sweetie, what is going? You are getting me worried, my beloved. Talk to me." She said, "Good morning, darling. Friday is my girls' night. We can't go out right now, so we all meet on Zoom and have a right old laugh, some gossip and a few drinks. Goodness, I've got a headache this morning." "Sweetie," he said, "you got me worried. I called but didn't pick up text, but no reply, sweetie. Don't do anything like this again, my beloved." Lucy wasn't having that. She said, "Darling, I do have a life, you know. I can't be talking to you 24/7. I do have a job, a son, a mother, friends, a house to run and a life to get on with. You aren't one of those jealous, controlling men, are you?" "Oh no, sweetie," he said. "Don't get me wrong, okay? I mean, you should leave a text so I know what you were doing. Fine, okay?" Then he started saying that he had a 14-year-old son called Alex, who was in a military boarding school in the USA. He told Lucy that he was going to ask Alex to email her. When she hadn't heard, he said, "OK, maybe he's going mail today, sweetie, because I send him your Gmail address, sweetie. Sweetie, he sent Am mail that he has sent you a mail, sweetie." Followed by, "OK, sweetie, tell me, have you had your breakfast already, my beloved?" I did say this man was a man of few words, but he kept repeating himself. A little while later, his son Alex emailed Lucy and introduced himself. He headed his email, "My New Mum," and said, "Hello, Mum, how are you today? My name is Alex Muth. My dad told me about you. He said that you are a very nice lady and you make him happy. Mum, I love my dad so much because he's all I have left in the world. I never really enjoyed my mother due to the death of my mum and her unborn child." And finished by saying, "I'm very happy that my dad found me mother. Thanks you so much, Mum, for accepting to marry my dad." Just remember that this young man is supposed to be in a military boarding school in the US. My experience over the years with my Keep Safe on the Net blog has been that a lot of people that fall for these romance scammers are people for whom English is a second language, and therefore they can't see that the emails and the messages they're receiving are not well written. He never suggested to Annie that she should write to Alex, but he did say he is under the United Nations boarding school in the US. "You know Afghanistan is war zone, and I cannot go with my only son with me to a war zone. That's why I had to leave him there with the school." And then, because they were talking about buying a house, "Wow, sweetie, the house is lovely, my priceless queen." Annie said, "Will he want to stay there, or will he come to the UK when we're here?" He said, "Sweetie, he's just 14 years old. He will stay wherever I stay, okay?" Then his thoughts returned to those retirement papers that he needs to get from his lawyer. You know, the ones he's going to ask me for money for. He said to Lucy, "Sweetie, I got a mail from my lawyer last night. He has start working on my retirement papers. He going to inform me if he need anything, sweetie. I'm so happy, sweetie." Well, to Annie, he said, "Sweetie, one's I get the email from lawyer's mail, sweetie." And then returned to the classic scammer technique of trying to get one of them to send him a photo. This time Annie, saying, "Sweetie, can you send a picture of you, sweetie?" This is another giveaway that the person that you're talking to may be a scammer. They have an obsession with getting photos from you, mainly because they will use these to help scam other victims. Annie said, "You've got a picture, sweetheart. I don't understand this obsession with selfies. I'm 50, not 15. I hate them." "Sweetie," he said, "I just want to see a new picture of you, sweetheart." 2 days later, the day dawned bright and clear, and so did his lawyer. He wrote to Lucy, "Sweetie, my lawyer sent me an email today. He said my paperwork is in progress. He's saying something about renewing the papers, but he has not explained it to me very well, sweetie." Well, to Annie, he said, well, you know what he said, because I've just read it to you. Then, of course, disaster struck. The scammer wanted to make sure that both women were feeling sympathetic before he started asking them for money. So he said to Lucy, "Sweetie, we had an attack last over here at the camp, my beloved." "Oh my goodness," she said, "are you okay?" "I lost some good men, sweetie," he said. "I'm really feeling bad about their loss, my beloved. I'm fine, sweetie." Well, to Annie, he said, "Sweetie, we had an attack earlier, sweetheart. We lost some good men, my beloved." "Were you hurt?" said Annie. "I don't like to think of you in danger, sweetheart." "No, sweetie," he replied. I feel so bad about the men we lost, sweetheart." Before long, Monday became Tuesday, as it does every week, and he said to Lucy, "Sweetie, I just got an email from my lawyer, sweetie. Sweetie, he said we have to renew my papers before he can be to file my retirement, sweetie." There was just one small problem. Do you want to guess what it was? "Yeah," he said, "but he's going to need money to do that, my beloved, and I don't have access to my money right now out here, sweetie." "Oh no," she said, "what can you do?" He said, "That's the problem I have right now, sweetie. I try calling someone friends back, but all turning me down. I'm confused right now, sweetheart." And you don't need me to tell you what he'd just said to Annie, so I won't. But she said, "Did you speak to your commanding officer to see if he can suggest anything?" "Yes, sweetie, I do," he said. "The only is to get the lawyer the money for the renewing of my papers. How I wish I have access to my bank account. I would have sorted it out myself, sweetie." "Is there something I could do to help?" said Annie. "Could I access your bank account from here?" I doubt it. Or to put it in scammer speak, "No, sweetie, you can't do that, my beloved. The only to help out is if you can help me sort out the money for the renewing of my papers, sweetie." "Oh, okay," she said. "How would I do that?" "Sweetie, we're talking about $850. I can lend you that," said Annie. Lucy was getting a cut price deal. Annie tells everyone she's divorced and her divorce settlement has just come through. But to Lucy he was saying, "Sweetie, we're talking about $750, my beloved." "That's not much," said Lucy. "I can sort that out for you. Should I speak to your lawyer?" "OMG, sweetie, you do that for me. Wow, I love you so much, sweetie." "Of course I will, darling," said Lucy. "That's what partners do, isn't it?" And so, of course, the lawyer emailed both women an email headed "My Client's Wife," saying, "Hello, madam. I'm Mr. Johnson, your husband lawyer. My client, Mr. Morris, give me your email address. He said you would like to talk to me concerning his retirement papers." And he said, "Oh, it's so good to hear from you. I'm so worried about him. He's in danger and I can't stand thinking of him being injured or worse. What do we have to do to get him home?" The lawyer replied, "We need renew his papers, and we are going to need some money to do that, madam. I told my client that I'm going to send the same of $850 so I can be able to renew his papers, madam." Of course, Lucy also agreed to pay. And the lawyer wrote back and said, "Madam, my client told you live in the UK, so to making this payment, you need to first transfer the money to US dollars and make the payment through Western Union." And then gave the name and address of someone who is probably a money mule in the US. saying, "Madam, this the Western Union account. You are going to make the payment into, madam. As soon as you make the payment, send me a picture of the payment receipt so I would be able to confirm your payment, madam." Annie doesn't use Western Union, mainly because she has a fake MoneyGram receipt that she likes to send the scammers. So she asked if she could pay by MoneyGram instead, and the scammer agreed and sent her the details of yet another money mule. Oh dear, somehow neither of the women managed to make the payment, and Loverboy was heartbroken. Sadly for him, by then, neither of the women were talking to him, but somehow that made him even better entertainment value. He tried calling Annie on Hangouts. She answered him, but she didn't speak to him, and he spent over an hour talking to himself. He then tried calling Lucy, also on Hangouts. She also answered him, and she also didn't speak to him, and he spent half an hour talking to himself. There's just a few short extracts here, but I'll leave a link below because I've uploaded that conversation to my website, so if you have nothing better to do for half an hour, you can listen to him talking to himself.
Say something to me. I miss you, baby. Say something to me. Baby, you there? Will you say something to me, please? Say something, please. Say something. I don't know why you keep doing this to me. Tell me, where did I go wrong? Say something, my bro. Say something, baby. Please, talk to me.
Then he thought he'd serenade Lucy. I thought of submitting his audition tape to the BBC Symphony Chorus, but decided against it.
Give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah. Let me love. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh.
I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like it, please share it, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in another Keep Safe on the Net video on YouTube.